Alrighty, hello folks, and good morning. Welcome to a quick little update here for sort of Convallaria. So, a new patch came out. Technically, there's been a few new sub-campaigns that have been released since I last covered this thing. I haven't had a chance to even dig into all of them. That's how much new stuff they've added. And frankly, I'm still getting through the original main campaign, trying to go through all the routes of that. So, yeah, SOC, as a single-player experience, is still one hell of a meaty game. Anyways, with that being said, I wanted to kind of cover what this new one is real quick, because unlike the other ones, you don't actually have to restart anything. You don't have to complete your current campaign to kind of hop into this one. It's just one you can kind of start off on its own thing. Because it's a bit of a backstory. In this particular case, this is the backstory of Rawia, so basically your drunken lady cloud, as well as your Sophia, who's the commander of the hangmen, so the spies and such. And their whole journey to go through the police academy and stuff like that, kind of, sorta. The basic gist of this whole thing so far seems to be that the two of them essentially graduate from their, police academy kind of thing with honors and such. They're given a choice over what exactly they want to do with their lives, and their choice basically boils down to, wow, politics really sucks. Maybe we should just go ahead and become cops. And so they do, and we got the kind of standard hopping into the police force in a big city kind of situation, where they're horribly underfunded, blamed for all the world's problems, and also potentially might be fabricating evidence pretty much immediately. I gotta say, right from the get-go, I'm shocked at the timing of this whole thing. Because obviously stuff like this takes a bit of a while to go and make. However, whenever they were making this, somebody apparently predicted the dang future, because right as the game starts, one of the first cases you're dealing with is a bunch of violence breaking out due to people having issues affording their healthcare costs, which is like, the timing. The timing is insane on that. But yeah, so effectively, it's like 4 cops that are supposed to run this whole city, more or less. Technically, there's more people out there, but it's your job to essentially get your kind of squad buddies together and get everything going, as it were. What's cool is that there's actually new mechanics added into this game mode, which I'm hoping we'll be able to see right now, because one of them is kind of a situational mechanic, where, you know how in the main campaign, every time you fight the hangman, Sophia's team happens to get the jump on you, happens to just sort of like one random interruption later. Where were we? Oh yeah, breach mechanics. Okay, so for anyone that's ever played, Chimera Squad, you might be really happy with this one. So there's something that doesn't really happen every time. Again, I'm hoping that we'll see it here. But when it comes to the breach mechanics, essentially every time in the main story that you run into the hangman, for the most part, they tend to get a bunch of attacks off on you before you have a chance to even do anything. Now, interestingly enough, they actually made this a mechanic for Sophia here, where essentially she's got this breach mechanic, where at the start of many fights, you're able to essentially rappel rope your people into position, or flashbang units that have set up ahead of time, or whatever else. So that's just kind of cool. So as always with SOC, the amount of different mechanics going on is just kind of nutty. But yeah, it's pretty darn neat. Now, that being said, I mean, we've got the typical thing going on here with the story, as far as like the vibes of the story, the story they're actually trying to tell is really darn cool, but the translation's kind of so-so. And honestly, I'm okay with that. Like, this, in many ways, this kind of takes me back to the PS1 days, because, man, if you've played Final Fantasy Tactics on that original translation, you had some questions over why on earth people were referring to the same group by 3 different names. It doesn't get that bad in this case. It's mostly just kind of awkward delivery in some cases, but still, if you can look past the awkward dialogue, it's pretty darn cozy of an option here. So let's see if we actually do get to see the breach mechanic, because we do see that they got some prep ahead of time. So largely the breach mechanic is a bit like some of the deployment tactics in the standard game here. Yeah, we do get to see it. So like right here, we have an option to raid, so we might potentially be able to relocate somebody over to the back here, maybe have somebody hop over, or we might be able to flashbang in order to make either these guys slow down, or make these guys lose their sort of preparatory crossbows and stuff like that. What's this one? Firefighting foam deals 20% to enemies and clears all special tile effects. Okay, so yeah, that's we'll go ahead and do that to get rid of the fire here. But that's cool, you know. I really appreciate this. It makes me think of a lot of what is it? Chimera Squad, if you've again ever played it. That game was pretty darn fun, but really awkward to play because it only ever came out on PC. Even on Steam Deck, the controls are super weird. So just having these kinds of options is pretty darn cool. Does it really make a whole lot of sense that we've got flashbangs and rappelling ropes and firefighting foam at this day and age? I mean, honestly, I've seen less plausible things. So we'll just throw that out there. We'll just go ahead and have Ruia go and use her invisible helicopter to go forward. I guess she just sort of Spider-Mans it. Honestly, no clue. But either way, it seems to work out well enough. We'll see if she can go ahead and do some business over here and get all these guys cleared out. This is primarily her role. She functionally is the grenade launcher. So we've got that. Anyway. So yeah, as always, it has definitely not started particularly difficult or anything along those lines, but it is a fun game mode. It's got some novel ideas. Also, it seems to run a little better than I remember it running last patch. So they do seem to be be doing better now. Considering the dialogue there, let me go ahead and check real quick. Did we? Here, no, there's that. Where is the little thingy? No. Let's defeat it. Okay. I don't think that there's going to be. I don't think there's going to be much in the way of kind of variability as far as the story is concerned for this mode, anyway. Seeing as this is a prequel, but hey, you never know. I don't know what's actually affected by anything yet. There's a lot of little neat touches that I appreciate in terms of the design that I've seen so far. I mean, hell, the amount of custom animations is always a little bit surprising. Like the fact that they ended up going out of their way to put specific different animations in place for, let's say, tying down units that are being arrested in some cases, or let's say. Going to have people that are kind of like tossing in their sleep is what I'm trying to say here. So like, let's say they're having a conversation early on into the story, and just the fact that they've got like 20 different animations for somebody just not sleeping right. Like, I'm surprised anyone bothered, but okay, this game has been pretty excessively high effort right from the get-go, so I appreciate that. I mean, again, you really don't see extra effort in terms of these little things being thrown out that often, so I appreciate that. I love the little decoration touches. And in fact, I love the amount of effort that went into the sort of daily schedule kind of thing. Like, specifically the first day that you go into it, you have to go clock out from work to let them know you're done for the day. While you're off duty, you end up getting into another fight, which means that you don't have enough food for the food preparation mechanic, and the food that's made determines where everybody's kind of stat buffs are for the next one. Seems to be kind of taking the place of some of the previous like blessings and stuff like that. So either way, that's just cool. Also, wait. Okay, yeah, I was just being blind. There was just this dude with a pitchfork standing right in the middle. Anyway, so yeah, I like the sort of toss-up to the formula here. The new breach mechanics are interesting. I mean, obviously we're still at the intro, so they're not really going to have too much that isn't like, here's how the mechanic works kind of a situation. But considering that we already see from their track record on the main game, I would assume that's probably going to expand quite a decent bit as the thing goes on. And yeah, we're going to have no respect for that guy's personal space right there. Let's see. We got missing children's cases next. So you're not allowed to interfere with this case. Closure highly confidential. Okay. Huh. So yeah, basically everything is potentially corrupt, and also there's a lot of problems. And at some point, this is coming into play. So I'm expecting this will somehow result in a sort of like Persona 4 type situation where maybe at the end of it, you're supposed to connect all the clues that end up coming up here. But they do have multiple cases so far, even, again, like an hour in, where there's extra kind of dialogue to go and talk with random NPCs for the purpose of collecting additional information. Now, one thing I did notice is actually something that we saw in the early days of SOC proper, in that when we go to, let's say, the exit locations, not all of them directly connect to a larger overworld area yet. So for the most part, you're going and kind of clicking around, which is fine. It works fine in this particular scenario. I would expect we'll maybe see that connected at some point, because again, main SOC did have that at one time. Here, let's see. Now it's nighttime. Well, apparently something's happening back at work. We're supposed to go get food, but fine. No one's allowed to clock out even after clocking out for the day around here. Let's see, finished attendance reports, okay. Yeah, everyone's complaining about paperwork because, of course, it's rush hour with swords. But alright. And we've already got... what's-her-face, Rowea already developing her drinking problem, as you do. There we go. Go to the tavern, get all completely shit-faced, see what we do. Somehow this results in becoming a spy master, which, alright, fair enough, if you say so. Wait, what? Let's see. Would you like to drums? Terminator line, that's hilarious. Also, what was this guy just saying? He was just offering his life savings to this lady. I missed that dialogue, and I kind of want to see what it was. Let's see, soldier guy injured his head. I mean, there is a lot of random stuff going on at this bar. And you do see some little bits and pieces, like some little nods to what later ends up becoming part of your base later. But I do appreciate that they went out of their way to actually model this whole place in a fairly believable manner. We got an upstairs deck area. Like, this place is nice. This is clearly big city material. I appreciate the design of this place. Like, this is a legit tavern right here. See, every department in the Bureau just says the same thing. Accidental drowning. Yeah, people apparently accidentally drown a lot over here. Yeah, don't let you investigate. Apparently that is a thing. And I'm assuming this is probably going to eventually turn into something to do with the cultists. I don't know. But who knows. Also, there's some kind of other mechanic where the boss leaves happy sticky notes around for people for some reason. Not sure what that's about, but apparently placating your boss is part of the mechanics of the system. Any darn ways, I gotta head out. I got stuff to go get done. So, y'all have yourselves a good one. Thank you for stopping by. And yeah, this thing's ostensibly free, so go check it out at some point. Just like the main game, it seems to have a sort of interesting scenario going on. It is basically free, and if you happen to somehow be in that boat of folks that somehow ran out of keys or whatever else, go check the devlogs. I didn't actually pick up on this before, but you can just copy and paste a code from the devlog to go get yourself a couple of, basically the in-game currency equivalent of getting a couple of weeks worth of keys in order to go get started on this whenever you'd like. So, just kind of throwing that out there. I didn't know that was a thing until I was looking at it today, so just, yeah, again, if you even have this problem, I've got like 50 plus keys banked up on the account just from playing it casually. Again, I don't really give the slightest amount of a flying fuck about the actual mobile game section of it. I'm here for the single player stuff. And I've, again, got like 50 plus keys banked up. So, and that's like, we're counting just the ones that don't expire. So, I don't think that if you're playing this for the single player, it's basically free forever. So, there's that. Anyways, I'm gonna get going. Y'all have yourselves a good one, and yeah, take care.